All right, everybody. So we're on to our secret project. Anyways, so on my journey of being more of a homesteader, I have decided to pick up blacksmithing. Obviously, it's not just something you decide to do, but where we are standing right now is inside of our wood storage area, and we are going to be converting it into a forge. So we have we obviously have our anvil with a stand. We've got a kind of puny little vise. We got tons of tools all over because we're working on some stuff. But we'll get this whole area cleaned all out, and then I think eventually I'll probably put in a floor because I don't have any footage of it right now. But about a week ago, you guys can kind of see right here. It's a little squishy still. That's why we got these boards down. We had about 6 inches of standing water in here just from the snow runoff. So it's muddy out here in Willow, right? But that aside, the main thing that we're working on today is going to be our forge. Ooh, whip you around there. So this is an old steel sink. It's one of these ones that you can that has its own legs and stuff, right? Stands up on its own, but we're going to be converting it into a forge. Because as our motto is low budget, no budget, right? So we are using what we have to get going. So far, the only stuff I've bought for this specifically is the fire brick. They're about $8 a pop, so they are a little bit expensive. But I wanted to make this video real fast because we've run into a little bit of an issue. So basically, all we got going on is that this whole thing is just filled up with dirt, or rather like bits of clay and small rock, maybe a little bit of larger rock, just to kind of fill in the cavity. And then we built down a little bit of a depress, kind of dug it out, flattened it out. This is all going to be filled in with fire brick. I mean, this is where our air inlet's going to come in. While I was cleaning this out and kind of flattening it out, I knocked in some dirt down in there. Okay, so yeah, hopefully you guys will be able to see. It's a little wonky to see down in there, but we got some dirt like way down in the bottom. Okay, kind of hard to see. Trying to get the light in there. I think that's probably about the best I'm gonna get. Anyways, we got some dirt down in the very bottom. Now, this being an old sink, of course it's got that little catch down there on the bottom. And it's also got about I don't know, a couple 100 pounds of dirt and rock and stuff in there. So I don't want to have to go through and dig it all out, but we need to have air coming in and the ash and stuff coming out. So down here on the bottom, we'll go ahead and switch over to that. So down here on the bottom, right, this is the bottom of the sink. Obviously this is a nasty old sink, right, which is why we're using it to make a forge. But you see this little piece right here, it's just caught the dirt. It's not letting it come out, obviously. It's not a huge deal, right? We just got to improvise a little bit, and hopefully this works. But I already know it'll cut. As you can see, there's a little notch right here that I already cut out. But so we just got a pair of snips. They're just kind of a cheapy little pair. We're just going to go ahead and snip that off. Snip this one off, and we'll do the final one here. Hopefully you guys saw some of that. Okay, and then obviously we got some sharp points, so we'll probably want to clean that out later, but can carefully dig our finger around in there. Yeah, I'm probably gonna really want to get those off. But anyways, yeah, there's a rock floating here. I'll probably get a stick or something and jam it around. But yeah, let me get that light on there. You guys can see what's going on. You guys can see there's just a rock right there, and you need airflow for a forge to function properly. And I could have just drilled a hole on the side, but I want to try to use what's existing. Is it unique? Yes, it is very unique, but hopefully it'll work. Alright, and let's see lights, I think. Alright, now we should have airflow. Morning, everybody. So I wanted to show you a little bit more how this thing was put together. It's pretty dead simple. Okay, down here we got that that plug out, and obviously we have this ducting here that we're gonna be blowing air through. And we have a pipe very similar to this one. Actually, I think it was the other half of this pipe, but you can see right here it's just in the middle, and that's just going to give us a nice air lit up. And then we will cover all this with fire brick. I might see if I can't cant them a little like such, so that way we have the coal moving more towards the middle and get more heat coming up. Actually, that's not a bad idea, but I think we'll go like that. Try to have them canted up a little bit. That way, yeah, so we'll get more coal in the middle, more hot flame. And then for our blower, we have another one actually coming, of course. Things take a while to get here to Alaska, so we are working with what we got till we get something better, which is, I mean, what you need to do, right? I mean, I think people get too caught up sometimes in the form of the thing and not its function. And obviously this is meant to be a quick, dirty forge. In the future, I hope to get a very nice one, but for now, I think it'll work fine. So yeah, I've been wanting to do blacksmithing for a long time. I think it's an amazing thing. I mean, you're trying to get steel, which is inherently super durable. You get it like almost soft like putty, and being able to shape it and mold it and stuff, I think is awesome. So yeah, hopefully this helps out a little bit. I'm going to do a bit of a time lapse here, and then we are going to put it in and hopefully fire it up. All right, everybody, so we got the fire brick in. We got a little bit of a gap here for the air to come up, and they fit in mostly pretty well. I think I might want to try to get some refractory cement and kind of fill in the gaps a little bit, but that'll be for another day. I think for now we can get some coal in here, and we'll get it fired up, and we'll go from there. All right, everybody, so we got the blower hooked back up. We got the fire bricks in. Real fast, I wanted to show you. So for a blower, I've just got this so I think it's like a Conair hair dryer. I have it set, I got this duct tape on here to depress the cool function, so it's not using a ton of power. The main issue that we have out here is obviously we are off grid, so having a blower that's off grid, I need something that doesn't use a ton of power but produces a good amount of air. Hair dryers do a lot of air, but if you don't have that button depressed, or if it doesn't have that option, you're using a lot of power. So we got this guy going. Obviously it's gonna be on a cool setting, so we can not use tons of power out here. The other option would be something like a bellows. What I have coming is a kind of like a hand cranked blower, which I'm really excited about. I can't wait for that thing to get here, but it's just like a geared hand crank. I think I've seen it in a couple other blacksmith videos that people use, so excited for that. This is something I've been wanting to do for a really long time, so Hopefully you guys enjoy. I think we're about ready to get it fired up. All right, everybody. So to get our forge going, we just have some pellets from like a pellet stove. All right, dribbled a little go juice on there. Got a lighter. Okay, so they're nice and lit. But then just like in a pellet stove, let me put down the lighter real fast. We should turn on our blower. We're gonna get a nice bit of air in there. Okay, and then we're gonna let that get going. And excuse my reach over here. We have a little bucket of coal. We're just gonna kind of stack that around. Change hands here. I think I might have turned on the blower a little too fast. We want to get that flame going on those. So we're gonna get it lit and we'll be right back. Alright, so we're trying to get these pellets to light. And once they get going really well, we'll turn on our blower, and then that should give it enough oxygen to get going. We got some work left to do in the shop. Obviously, this is just kind of like a rudimentary proof of concept at the moment. But we got a good little flame going. And we'll kick on the blower. Eventually, I'll probably get a range hood going in here to try to suck up all the air. I think I might have a solution for that as well. And it looks like it's going pretty well. We'll just start putting some coal around. Like I said, this is a trial, I guess you could call it. But seems to be going. We'll give it a couple minutes to heat up and get hot, and we will go from there. All right, everybody. I apologize if the fan is like insanely loud, but we got a little bit of a fire going, starting to heat up pretty good. I think we are going to try to get this bolt nice and hot and see if we can't pound it into submission. Maybe we'll do a quick time lapse here and go from there. All right, everybody, so as you can see, it's working. It's getting hot. A little bit longer and we might be able to smack it. Hang on, step back. So. Got our fire going crazy. Alright, everybody, so we are moving it out. Nope. A little cold. We're gonna shove the top end back in. Let's give it a couple more minutes. And there, folks, we have a very ugly hook. Might look ugly, but it's functional. And it's our first one. So we are gonna go, and while hopefully it's still a little bit hot, we're gonna take a cap. Okay, we've made our little dent. We can make a hole later. I very clumsily grab it and a pot of water. That's it.